Morning, my loves. I keep feeling called to tell this story, and so here I am, not only am I in my PJs and like finishing my coffee, like I haven't even hopped in the shower yet, I'll be honest. It's Saturday morning. We're socially isolating, okay? But so we've been here before, and we know this historically, right? But some of those stories aren't always told. So something that I learned. So I was a women and gender studies major, like way back in college. And so part of that was sometimes like hearing the parts of history that the history books didn't talk about. And something that always stuck with me was this. When Europeans first came to these shores to settle, back in those pioneering days. So like if you've read Laura Ingalls Wilder, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Um, it was hard. And a disease could wipe out a family, could wipe out a town, could wipe out a whole, I mean, we didn't have states yet, but you know what I mean? It could just wipe out a whole community. And, of course, we read about in the history books about like who signed the important documents and who blah, 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 like the revolutionaries and blah, 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 blah. But what got us through those times of really terror? I mean, think about it, right? You're in an unknown land. Sound familiar, right? Like we're in unknown territory, even though it looks strangely familiar because we've all been watching The Walking Dead for like the last 12 years. So we're like the whole post-apocalyptic thing is like in our psyche, in our collective, like, yeah, like those testing centers look really freaking familiar. But I wanted to just share this because it made such an impression on me back in the day, right? Um, so imagine these pioneering families, like in this unknown territory, freaking out because, yeah, like, shoot, stuff that we know now that, like, 5 years from now, even a year from now, we're going to be going, oh my gosh, remember before before we had the vaccine, before we had the treatment, how scary this was. So it was just like that then, right? During those pioneering times, it was like diarrhea or the flu or whatever could just completely wipe out an entire community. And yet we survived. So how did we survive? We survived because of love. I actually get a little emotional thinking about this because what happened was like one family would reach out to another family and say, look, okay, I see that your family's starting to get sick. I'm going to go over, I'm going to help you. And I will come and stand for you and take care of you. And then when the sickness hits my family, you'll come and take care of me. It was like, okay, your animals aren't doing well. I will bring you the eggs. Susie will bring you the wool. Like it was this whole network behind the scenes, kind of like the invisible network. And one could say it was like the network of women, and that's why we didn't hear about it in the history books. But honestly, it was like everybody, right? It was everybody. It was like the men who were like, okay, you're sick, you can't tend your animals right now, I'll be there for you. So what's in that for us? Like, so bottom line is, because we took a stand for each other, because we said, I will help you in your time of need, because I know that you will take care of me in my time of need, and together we'll get through this. That is exactly where we are right now, right now, right now. And so this has just been coming through so strong for me. Like, just check in with your family, your friends, your network. I reached out to my dad. I hadn't talked to him in years. He's getting old. I was like, I don't know how this is playing out in his family right now. And so whatever our differences were in the past, I put them aside. Who in your network needs toilet paper? You know what I mean? Like, send them a square. Like, it's like, this is like, we have ways of supporting each other. Do you need to send someone a prayer? Do you need to send someone a meditation? Do you need to pick up the phone and call someone? Do you need to, I know we're like socially isolating, And like, is there someone in your network who needs supplies where you can just go and drop them on their back porch? Like how can we support each other, right? So we have been here before historically. I'd love to say that we'll never be here again, but things take different. We operate in cycles, in spirals. And so here I am, pre-shower, pre-makeup, finishing my coffee, going like, I really need to share this with you. Thank you all for joining me. So I would just, like, we've been here before. We made it through because of love, because of connecting behind the scenes with the people that we know who need us. Who in your network is like lives alone, right? Like, who can you reach out to? Like, who's not being supported right now? Who in your network are amongst the people who are the most vulnerable, the very old, the my gosh, like I have a colleague who is a transplant. Like, who can you beam some love to? Who can you say, like, I got you, I'm thinking of you, call me if you're feeling like dark and scared? Because there are two viruses here, people, right? There's the physical virus and there's the fear virus. And the fear virus is like eating us alive. So who can you beam some love? Who can you reach out to, right? To keep us all together as a community. We will get through this. We will get through this. Good morning to you, Jody. Pretty lady yourself, takes one to know one. All right, my loves. Thank you so much for joining me for this little morning missive. And I would love to know, like, what did this spark for you? I'll be honest, like like I said, I reached out to my dad, who I hadn't talked to in so long, and we had the most loving conversation. All I had to do was Google him. So funny. I was like, how do I reach him? How can I possibly reach him? And I was like, I literally Googled him and just kept calling the numbers until I got to a human being and I found him. So, so who is that for you? Who needs love in your circle? Who needs a little extra support? And even like beyond that, like I'm thinking of the businesses that are struggling right now, like our local restaurants. If you've got the financial capacity to like order some takeout and keep them going, freaking do it, Like, this is how we're going to get through this together, is by really looking out for each other, loving on each other. And we know what to do. We really and truly know what to do.